Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Paul, joined by Robert Ziggy Ziegler up at Harvard University, and producer Zach Bloomquist is with us. The best executive producer in all of the game is here.
I don't know about that anymore, and the fact that I got a lot of questions before we started.
Just checking. It's always okay to double check. Is Ziggy recording? Do you have the notes down for the division total or the win totals when we get there? There's just a lot of things that...
Are you looking at the correct website to find such win totals?
Well, yeah, there's nothing wrong with double checking producing. I actually think it would be nice for me to have at my job, to someone else to just be like, hey, is everything going okay here? Like, maybe you want make sure you have this just to be safe, But no, producer Zach, you do a great job all the time. We are very fortunate to have a producer as good as producer Zach.
Also, we need a producer Zach or producer Lauren in the chat.
Oh, a little poll. Yeah, Lauren's coming for his job.
Yeah,
my sister is coming for you on the show with Ben Stevens, Ziggy, with Lauren producing, which you were on. I know. There's been some fiery back and forth between Zach and Lauren about who should really be in the seat, and
I don't want Lauren on the show.
Lauren said she gets too much hate. She said, I can't handle the hate.
There wasn't a single hate.
I know, there's nothing you can do about it. So, all right, we got a really fun episode to get through today. A bunch of things, couple contracts, big contracts signed. We're going to get into briefly the flag football conversation and some win totals for the NFC towards the end of the show. If you're enjoying the content, we're so close, crawling to 30,000 subscribers. If you can help us out and send over a subscription, that would be great. If you're enjoying the content or would you like to see something in particular, go ahead and leave a comment. Let us know what's on your mind. Of course, if you want to send us a gift or something to put on the studio desk here, we have the sword, by the way, that we recently got. I'm trying to figure out how to make that look best with all the other gear that we have.
We haven't forgotten you, JK.
No, don't worry. We haven't forgotten. The P.O. box is in the description as well to send over, or just a letter, whatever you want to send over. We'll get back to all that stuff. Ziggy's birthday is coming up. Ziggy won't be on the show on Thursday, but Ziggy, happy birthday, because you're going to be defending your dissertation over the next few days. So good luck with that. And, it's too bad. We're going to have the Ziggy Birthday Bash episode, but we'll just have to wait.
If there's enough demand in the comments, it might happen.
Oh, all right. Yeah, babe.
I can be convinced.
Ziggy Birthday Bash was, when I texted our schedule for the week, I said, all right, today we'll do win totals, and then obviously Thursday's the Ziggy Birthday Bash, to which Ziggy said, I've told you guys I'd be out for weeks on this day. And,
which was
I got too excited. Just got too excited. Maybe the Ziggy Birthday Bash will, in fact, happen. Ziggy, I don't know how closely you've been following the NCAA tournament, truly, because whenever I call you during it, you say it's not on.
I've seen a total of 2 minutes of basketball this tournament, and it was one of the worst experiences of my basketball watching life.
So the only NCAA tournament time that you've seen was the collapse of UVA in the final minutes against Tennessee.
I should have just stayed not watching. Things were going okay for UVA when I wasn't looking at the screen.
That's pretty funny. We called Ziggy while we watched the games, and we're like, Ziggy, you got to turn on. He goes, no thanks. I'm doing XYZ. And finally, we got him to turn on the UVA game because it's his team, right? University of Virginia, Robert Ziggy Ziegler. And after they delaminated, he called and said, thanks for making me watch that, guys, and hung up the phone. It was a stone cold moment from Ziggy.
A lot of people's brackets busted with Iowa beating Florida.
Come on, man. We have to go there.
Picking the 1 seed doesn't always work, it turns out.
We have to go there. Look, I told you, last year I knew the bracket of destiny. I felt it. Didn't feel it this year. But you don't know why, Ziggy, why Florida lost. I do. It's unbelievable. I cannot believe that this keeps happening. We're in a survivor pool. Me, Brian, our friend Brian, Jack, and our friend Michael. We put 4 entries in. It's $150 an entry. It's a little expensive. We put 3 entries in. $3 million survivor pool to the winner. And we didn't intend for it to be 3 initially. It just kind of happened to, Mike did an extra one. Then we went in with Brian. And all of a sudden we're like, you know what? Let's all combine together and do the best we can. We get through the first 2 days, which is a madness, right? 21,000 entries, 10,000 people are eliminated. We get through the first 2 days. Saturday's all good. And Sunday, I'm up at 2 a.m, Ziggy, like creating paths, trying to figure out the optimal way that we can do this. We decide Purdue will be one of the teams. Sunday morning, Purdue wins. They have a big win over Miami. We hate Miami. Awesome. Iowa State is the second team we choose. Sunday afternoon, Iowa State, big win. They look great against Kentucky. And then Mike Rotundo, our good friend. We all have a friend like this. The biggest jinx on the planet.
No, and it's a lot of people have friends they say are the biggest jinx on the planet. The things I've seen from Mike Rotundo defy explanation.
It's unbelievable. I'm standing right behind this bar. Cleared it off. We had chicken wings. We had chicken finger. It was a great day. We're having a great day, Ziggy. All the guys are sitting on the couch. We're watching the games. And Mike goes, "This is awesome. 3 perfect brackets heading into the weekend." And me and Jack just went like, "No, you idiot."
Because he doesn't believe he's a jinx despite all the evidence to the contrary.
It's when he says things without intending to. That's when it's jinx. If he you can't intentionally be like, "Oh, I think the Vikings are screwed," and hope they come back. It's when he truly means it. And he says 3 perfect brackets. We have 1 game left. And I just went, "You son of a bitch." I stared out a window for like a minute, knowing what was going to happen. And that night, Florida, the 10.5-point favorite against Iowa, loses on a buzzer beater 3-pointer to be the first 1 seed to lose to a 9 in 8 years. And we're sitting there going, how could this have possibly happened? And then we went, oh, Mike. He walked in and he goes, you can't possibly blame me for this. And I just looked at him and said, Mike, how many times are we going to do this dance? How many times do we have to do this? How many millions of dollars are you going to cost this group? Because now it's reached millions. And it's a damn shame because we were feeling pretty good going into that Florida-Iowa game. And not only, Ziggy, did we realize that we were screwed because we lost that bracket, but then we realized that Michael also picked Nebraska without telling us, and now we have to take Iowa on Thursday. So we're in a lot of trouble. we're in a lot of trouble. We have 2 brackets left, but we're in a lot of trouble. More to come on the brackets on Thursday, but it was a tough Sunday of March Madness for the Paul Farrington Show crew. Don't tell Michael your bets. That's all I'll say. Good luck with your jiu-jitsu competition down in Florida, Mike, by the way. All right, Ziggy. So a couple big contracts today, but I want to start with the flag football. I didn't watch a second of it. Did you?
Yeah, I did.
This is interesting because
I watched the whole thing.
This is really interesting between me and you. I was totally in the March Madness. I'm watching all the games. Could not care less about the flag football. Meanwhile, you could not care less about March Madness. Watch all of the flag football game. Was it fun? I had no interest in the world.
So I had, we'll set aside the significant ethical issues going on with this flag football game and just talk about what happened on the field.
Significant ethical issues?
Yeah.
Of like what?
I mean, the game ended up being played in Los Angeles, but the whole point of this event initially was to hype up the Saudi Arabian government and talk about how great they are.
Oh, geez. Was that?
Yeah.
I barely looked into it.
Riyadh and the Kingdom Arena, but of course that got moved because of the ongoing war.
Got it. Okay. We'll stay out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Saudi Arabian government's bad. We all know that. They'll never sponsor this show as long as I'm around.
Not everyone seems to know that. All right, yeah, we can get into that.
Yeah, I will say this, right? But that is important context for understanding what happened in this game, which is that this was really an exhibition game that no one took very seriously. They were all there to get paid. And you can tell when you've got Odell Beckham Jr. and Tom Brady playing that this is some part of what's going on. No disrespect to those guys as individuals, right? But Tom Brady is not the best quarterback on the planet anymore. Odell, but if you think
that elusive move there, Brady could still sling it. He could definitely still sling it, but no, he's not the best.
I'm not saying he's bad at football, but this wasn't Team USA preparing and trying to put their absolute best out there. Well, not Team USA, the NFL trying to put their best out there to play Team USA. This is an exhibition game. And it was fun to see, we've heard a lot, and I've participated in this. These NFL guys are way better. They know how to play football better. Grabbing a flag to tackle somebody is actually different than blowing them up.
Yeah. That's what it seems like.
You got to see that a lot in this game, right? It felt like if you watch college football, sometimes there will be a game where you're watching your team, and it seems like they all just forget how to tackle.
Yeah.
As Notre Dame fans, we know this all too well. Wisconsin fans certainly know this all too well, though that tends to go on for entire seasons for them. This is what it felt like watching that game, right? It was as if, Right, you have some of the best, actually the best flag football players in the world going against guys who probably haven't played flag football since they were like 9, except maybe at the Pro Bowl once. You could clearly tell that if these NFL players want to play flag football at a high level, they're going to have to actually practice the fundamentals because they got obliterated.
When I saw the scores, and it was like 49-14 or something, and like 39-20. It was basically
it was 43-16 and 39-16.
Yeah, I saw the final game. Brady's team lost 24-14, I think, in the final of the round robin, right?
Yeah,
but still, it was pretty impressive from Team USA because every single person sat back and assumed basically that the NFL players would by far be the best at this.
Yeah, and whatever you think about like the injured Gronk team with Tom Brady, like Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, and Saquon Barkley are real football players.
Yeah, I did you see the videos of Joe Burrow juking? And it's like if you haven't seen it, go watch the videos of Joe Burrow attempting a spin move during the game, and it has all the perfect makings of tearing your ACL, except he didn't actually tear his ACL in the video. If I were a Bengals fan, I would have been holding my breath that entire game. And it had me thinking about, would I actually want NFL players in the Olympics? And
yes.
And here's where I came down on it, Ziggy. Would I watch the flag football Olympics if NFL players were in it? Yeah, probably. Would I watch it if they weren't? Probably not. Maybe I'd watch a game or two, but unlikely.
I'd probably watch the finals when it's
maybe
USA
I'd watch the gold medal game. And honestly, I don't even know how much of even if NFL players played, I'm not sure if it would be appointment viewing for me. But I just thought to myself, if Justin Jefferson played for Team USA and tore his ACL, I would be furious. So I've actually come down. I hope they don't play in the Olympics, which might sound a little lame, but as a fan, flag football, we were just saying how different it is. When you go to in the NFL, you're bracing for contact. In flag football, like guys are juking, you're trying to avoid getting your flag pulled. And that's movement that kind of feels like it, almost leads to more injuries because you're trying to juke people out more than just take the hit and go down. I could just see some, just for the protection of whoever the player winds up being, it'd probably be Joe Burrow. Come on, let's all be honest. Or Jaden Daniels. I mean, we're talking about the most injury-prone guys in the sport. Like, I don't know. To me, it's just, I think the owners are also probably watching that going, oh, God, Jaxson Smith-Njigba just got a $42.5 million a year contract. Last thing you want is him playing a flag football game.
But I'm totally happy if any Packers, Lions, or
No. We don't root for injuries. Come on, karma, Ziggy.
Oh, I don't want any of them to get hurt. But look, if Amon-Ra St. Brown wants to play, who am I to say no?
Yeah. For them to play. Yeah. Yeah, right.
No, I don't want him to get hurt. But if they want to take that risk, not Justin Jefferson.
I totally get it too. I totally get it if an NFL player is like, I want to go and try and win a gold medal. That's cool. But
they're going to have to earn their spot.
Well, they will have to earn their spot. But a flag football gold medal.
Jalen Hurts is out here getting sacked by Logan Paul.
Yeah, like it's just
these guys.
Yeah. There are certain Olympic sports that it's badass if you're like skiing or track and field, right? Like those are the Olympic sports where they're the S tier Olympic sports. Big deal if you win a gold. I just don't know if I want my star player playing in a flag football game where it's almost like the Oscars, right? Like in the Oscars, you have Best Picture, Best Actor awards, and then there's a bunch of other Oscar winners. And it's great. I'm happy that they win those in those categories and are able to be represented. But the main event are the big awards. That's like the Olympics almost. I mean, there's breakdancing now and stuff like that. Where again, happy that people can compete for that. But flag football is one of those lower tier Olympic sports at the moment. And I don't want one of my guys that I cheer for getting hurt. But I understand if they want to play. Like, I totally get that. That's just my view as a fan. All right. Want to talk some of these contracts real quick?
Sure.
You said the Jaxson Smith-Njigba deal was a major, major shift for receivers beyond what most people think.
So here's the number that you're going to hear when people are talking about Jaxson Smith-Njigba. You're going to hear 42 million a year.
Mhm.
People will say, well, Jamar Chase got 40 million a year. That's like that's not even a 5% increase, or I guess it's about a 5% increase. Not big on that front. But in NFL contracts, there's always two parts. There's like the big amount of money you see that's reported, and there's when the money's distributed. And if you look at how much money Jaxson Smith-Njigba is getting immediately in the first year of the contract, it blows everybody else out of the water. Like incomprehensibly improved.
What
right?
do you have? Like, yeah, what do you have?
Yeah, I've got the numbers. So the way these extensions work generally is like you've got one more year left on the deal, and then they sign you to the extension.
Okay.
Right. And then the extension kicks in after the first year. So I'm going to call year zero money the amount of money he's getting next year, which would have been the last year of his rookie deal.
Okay.
CeeDee Lamb got 21 million. Jamar Chase, 20 million. Justin Jefferson, 18 million. That's about where the market has been on that like first year of the contract, right before it kicks in.
Yep.
Smith-Njigba is getting 43 million.
Oh, good day
so
to be Jaxson Smith-Njigba.
The previous high for how much money you're getting there. Year one, the first year of the extension, Jefferson got 50. Garrett Wilson got 42. Jamar Chase got 53. Smith-Njigba is getting 63. Again, a huge increase. So if you look at how much money he's getting up front, it's not really a like 4.5% increase, which is what it looks like. It's really like a 10% increase because the last year of these deals often get shredded up or turned into some future extension if they're any good.
Yep.
He's getting a huge amount of money guaranteed up front. The cash commitment is huge because the Seahawks are not cutting him after next year. Let's be real. That's not going to happen. So in year three, right, when Jamar Chase makes 110 million, when Justin Jefferson makes 106, when CeeDee Lamb makes 104, and this is the last year that the Seahawks are really committed to, Smith-Njigba is going to make 130. So this is a gigantic raise for wide receivers. And if you're someone like George Pickens or someone like Drake London or even like a Chris Olave who has a sizable extension coming up, the fact that tons of money is getting paid to Smith-Njigba earlier, this will be the main talking point between their agents and NFL teams.
Yeah, the money just keeps going up and up and up. It's unbelievable. I want and for Seattle too, right? As they're looking to build on the Super Bowl contender here. A lot of money now committed to Jaxson Smith-Njigba. Just gets harder when you win the Super Bowl because you do have to pay these guys. But congratulations.
Philly last year, right? They made good decisions, I think, letting most of their guys walk on huge deals. Most of those didn't turn out. But their only way to keep the players who won them a Super Bowl was to do stuff like this and pay huge sums.
Yeah, and then eventually, you see this year a pretty big exodus for Philly. That's just what happens.
Yeah, so it's like a player like Jaxson Smith-Njigba, I want to be clear. He's 100% worth it. He is, at worst, a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. He was a huge player on that offense last year. But players like Kenneth Walker or Boye Mafe or Kobe Bryant, right? Good contributors on a Super Bowl team who signed huge deals elsewhere. That's where you really get pinched and what makes it so hard to do what Kansas City did for so many years and be in the Super Bowl every year.
Yeah, no, when you lose depth like that, and not even depth. I mean, Kenneth Walker was Super Bowl MVP, right? Like
Kobe Bryant was a key starter.
Yeah, it shows how hard it is to consistently year in and year out, not just be relevant, but be one of the top contenders. Speaking of them, the Chiefs signed Travis Kelce to a 3-year deal. It's reported at 54.7 million up to 57.7. But when you look, so people might see that and go, Travis Kelce, 3-year deal. Like I thought he was just going to, play one more year. Maybe I thought he might retire this year. When you actually look into the details of it, it's $12 million this year. And then if Travis Kelce is on the team in June of 2027, $40 million then becomes guaranteed, which Ziggy and I were talking about before the show. Kansas City would cut him before that. And if he wants to play again, they'd sign him to another deal. So effectively, it's just a 1-year, $12 million deal that, while I don't really understand why it's necessary, Ziggy was saying, and
I'll tell you why it's necessary. There's 2 reasons. You might wonder why that $40 million is due in June, right? That seems kind of late, like an arbitrary amount. It's to force the Chiefs to cut him on June 1st. So that way their cap hits from the remaining money and the guarantees can be spread over the 2 remaining years of the deal. Like, basically, what the Chiefs are doing is they're giving him a huge signing bonus and paying him a low salary so that the money goes into the future, so they have more cap space now. This structure lets them push that money into two future years next year rather than last year.
Yeah, we don't need to get too into the deal, but long story short, it's a 1 year deal.
This helps their cap space. It forces them to cut him next year. Like, Travis Kelce will not be a Chief on June 2nd, 2027. I guarantee
Yeah, we'll have the decision again if he wants to play.
And if he retires next year, he gets to say, I went out at the top of the NFL making more money than anyone. I dominated until the end.
Yeah, there you go. Good for Travis Kelce. So, all right, let's get into the NFL win totals. That's the main topic of today's episode. We have producer Zach with all of the win totals in the NFC in front of him, which we jotted down from an unspecified sports book before starting. Just saying. So, producer Zach, go ahead. Why don't we start off in the NFC East?
The East, we shall. And we're going to start off with everybody's favorite team in the East, the Cowboys. 8.5.
8.5 wins for Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to go over this season. I picked them to win the division a couple months ago, maybe a month ago, when we did our way too early season predictions. And I just like where Dallas is at. I think they're going to have an improved defense from last year. Pickens back, right? CD, Dak healthy, fully. I just think that this team was close this year to figuring it out. They got going towards the end of the year, right? Just a little too late. And I think that with Schottenheimer year 2, I thought he did a much better job than people expected in year 1. Philly's kind of reeling. I like Dallas to win the division, and it would take at least 9 wins to do that.
Dallas has gone under the past 2 years, and I hate what they're doing for the long term of this team. Right, I think that like Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams and Rashawn Gary, like that's not good for the future. I do think it's going to be good for next year, though. As long as Dak can stay healthy, the offense should be good. The defense has a lot of talented players, and it felt like everything went wrong for them last year, and they still finished 7-9-1.
Yeah,
I hate taking an over on the Cowboys, but I think I have to do it.
Wow! All right, 2 overs for the Cowboys. Who we got next?
And now we're going to go to everybody's most hated team in the East, the Eagles.
Yeah, I do hate the Eagles.
How about after the team, you say what the win total is?
Well, I was getting there, Ziggy. Easy there. I was waiting for Paul's response.
Yeah, I'm saying, Paul, how about you don't intervene? Let's let producer Zach read out the team and the win total, and then we can talk.
A good old 10.5.
That's pretty rich. That's a pretty rich win total. Ziggy, I'll let you take first crack at this one since I just went.
It's easy to say that the Eagles are going to hit it because they crushed it last year. But the problem for me is I think every single team around them in the division got better. And I don't think the Eagles did. Hopefully the addition of a new offensive coordinator will help them out. I think that's the reason to be confident. But the Giants, there's no doubt they're getting better. The Commanders will be healthier. Jaden Daniels will be back. The Cowboys, we just said, I think they're going to do better. I think that's going to challenge the Eagles. The division will be harder next year, so I'm going to take the under here.
I'm going to take the under too. We talked about some of the guys, right, that they wound up losing. Nakobe Dean's gone. Reed Blankenship, my gosh. Jalen Phillips gone.
The defensive line depth is grim in Philadelphia. Like, if you haven't taken a look, it's Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, and they don't have any other defensive linemen. That's it.
They also are on this weird trend of like, really good for a year, really bad for a year, really good for a year, really bad for a year. I guess that then mean they're going to a Super Bowl, right? Right. That's what they've been doing. Super Bowl playoff exit in the first round. So we're bucking the trend here with Philly, but it just seems like even the vibes in that building. AJ Brown, I'm assuming is going to be traded, and losing him would be a big deal. Still kind of up in the air, I guess, as to what happens with AJ, but I'm going to go under as well. And tough schedule, right? They're playing the NFC West. I'm going to go under for Philly. I think it's a step back season for them.
All right, moving on to the team that everybody in our area hopes that they're better than they usually are. That would be the Giants at 7.5.
The Giants are a fun team to circle this year. Harbaugh, Year 2, Jackson Dart. You get Scattaboo back. You get Malik Neighbors back. And 7.5 wins. I would have liked it if it was 6.5, if the number was 6.5 here.
That's how they set the line.
I know. I'm going to actually say over. I think they get to 8. I think the Giants will get to 8 wins this year. Do I think that they're, a playoff team like a lot of people have said? They could maybe push the fringes of a wild card. I don't think they'll get there next year, but I like all the ways that they're moving. I think they're going in the right direction.
We'll see. Cam Scattaboo could be looking at a suspension after his recent comments.
He's not going to get suspended.
But no, the Giants were 2-4 in the division last year. And honestly, I think it was sort of a lucky 2-4.
Mm-hmm.
7.5 is projecting them. If you take the over, you're saying they're going to double their number of wins from last year. And it's easy to see why you might think that with Malik Neighbors coming back and Jackson Dart taking a step forward. But there's no guarantee that Jackson Dart actually becomes significantly better next year. There's no guarantee the offensive line is going to be figured out. I'm taking the under. I think that's too much improvement too quickly.
Do you think it's a close under, or are you thinking more like 5-win team?
If I had to pick a number, I would pick 6.
6? Okay.
I don't think it's going to be 7.
Yeah, okay. Got you. Yeah, I guess I'm a little bullish on the Giants, and that could come back to bite me because they've lost more games than anyone except maybe the Jets over the past 5 years. More than the Jets.
You could believe that John Harbaugh is going to, we're predicting John Harbaugh to have a second losing season in 20 years, or I'm predicting that.
Who we got?
You and I disagree. That means producer Zach. What do you think?
Tiebreaker 7.5.
I'm going to take the over. Oh, yeah, I'm going to take the over on 7.5 this year.
You're one of Harbaugh. That'd be a big success. If they ended the year even just 8 and 9, I think that's a great step for the Giants.
Yeah, I think they're going to be mediocre enough to be 8 and 9. Now to our final team that just is always in limbo in this division. Nobody really looks at them or cares about them sometimes. The Commanders.
Hey, I'm from Virginia. I live in Virginia. I don't want to hear that. Why you live in Virginia? The Commanders are great.
See, this is where it gets tough now. And wait.
Ziggy didn't know what football was about until 4 years ago. All of a sudden now the Commanders are his team. What are we doing here?
I'm not saying they're my team. I'm saying I don't want you saying no one cares about the Commanders.
You're right. Their own owner didn't even care about them.
What we got for Washington? See, right after I interject
7.5
on the number, Ziggy immediately does the same thing there. 7.5, Ziggy. Go ahead. You take first crack.
So I'm going to take the over here. Since I've taken the Eagles under and the Giants under, I don't feel too terrible about this. I still believe fully in Jaden Daniels and the Commanders' offense. And as long as you believe in that offense and think they'll be competitive for the division, which I do, they were 2-6 at home last year. This team really, really struggled with Daniels' health. They were 3-9 in the NFC. They lost a lot of very winnable games. I think they're going to turn it around. I think the offense is going to take care of business. And 8 wins is not a monumental number for a team with as much talent as the Commanders.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the under on Washington. And
it could totally blow up, to be clear.
I think that when you hear 7.5 for Washington, in most people's minds, you go immediately to Jaden Daniels' playoff run from his rookie season and getting back to that form, right? Like Ziggy was saying. And they made some nice additions in the offseason to the defense, but I'm still looking up, and I'm looking at the schedule right now. You get a little bit unlucky in that your matchup in the AFC North is going to be the Bengals for third place, right? Or they, third. Your third place game is the Cincinnati Bengals, and we'll see what that defense looks like. But again, you got the NFC West, AFC South, which usually stinks, but Jacksonville is good right now. Houston and the Colts, you don't really know what you're going to get. And Washington, to me, at this point in time, the injuries to Daniels still a concern. Will he get banged up again? I think that they come in under 7.5.
Oh, there's something you're missing.
What?
They're going to draft Jeremiah Love.
I do like Jeremiah Love.
Jeremiah Love will take the load off Jaden Daniels, and they'll get up to 8.
I do like Jeremiah Love. If they get Jeremiah Love, we'll reevaluate.
Love, will you revise?
We'll reevaluate this, but I don't know if Jeremiah. I do love Jeremiah Love. All right, let's go to the NFC South.
That's where you want to go.
Everyone's favorite division.
Here we go. We're on.
Can I take 4 unders here? No team gets to 7 wins.
I mean, if that's what you want to do. All right, for the South, first team that we got, the team that just can't seem to find their quarterback, the Falcons at 7.5.
Oh, they have a quarterback. They have your quarterback.
No, they can't seem to find a quarterback. You let me know when he's a quarterback.
7.5. I think Tua can get them to 8 wins. I actually think he can.
One.
Why am I the only guy who likes Tua Tagovailoa? I don't know. But I think Tua Tagovailoa could be decent. You give him Bijan Robinson, you give him Drake London. Ziggy says enough.
Wait. All right. I know we're going to get off track a little bit. We're going to give him Bijan Robinson and Drake London, right?
Hell, I like those
Did
guys.
we not give him Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Achan? What else do we need to give this guy? What else do we need to give this guy?
Were healthy back in the
How about
day.
a defense? The Falcons can give him a functional
A better, a remotely, I'd say an average defense, at least in Atlanta, a defense that's getting better, a young defense, or some young pieces in place. I think when you had Tua with those weapons, you had to run at the number 1 seed one year.
We did.
Now, can Tua get hit at any moment and this collapses? Yes, but we're talking we're talking 8 and 9 here, and Atlanta lives at 8 and 9. I mean, that is their wheelhouse. I think Tua could get the job done. We'll see if even if Penix comes back and comes in. Does 9 and 8 win this division? Probably. But
I think 9 and 8 takes you to a tiebreaker.
9 and 8 probably takes you to a tiebreaker. I think Atlanta. I think they can get there. I think they can get to 8 wins. So I'm going to go over slightly.
Yeah, okay, buddy. I'm not touching that Falcons over.
The over. Okay.
Yeah, I am going hardcore under on the Falcons. I don't believe in Tua. I think this offense has some good pieces, but has never looked particularly functional, no matter who's been at the helm outside of a couple of games. Mm-hmm. The defense was okay last year, but it still wasn't that good. It was below average in points per game, yards per game, points per play, yards per play, third down conversion rate allowed, fourth down conversion rate allowed, red zone scoring percentage, touchdowns allowed per game. It was below average in everything. So, maybe you hope the first 2 first-round edge rushers they took are good, but they also don't have a first-round pick this year.
Because of that, yeah.
I'm not high in Atlanta. Sorry.
Is 8 but 8 wins is not great. If you're saying give me double-digit wins for the Falcons, that's insane.
If I had to pick a number, I'd put the Falcons at 5.
5, wow. So you're very, very low on them.
I think they will be one. I think that they should be happy. They should be scouting next year's quarterbacks right now.
Yeah,
take one.
If they go, they should go into tank mode. And if they go into tank mode, then obviously 8 is out of the picture. But I think if as long as Tua is playing, I think that they're okay. And okay can get to 8 wins.
It's not impossible.
It's not impossible. All right, we got next?
Well, we're moving on to a team that has found their quarterback who's kind of blossomed the last couple of years, especially because he got himself a wide receiver 1. Defense kind of stinks, but they did upgrade with my boy Jalen Phillips. So we're going to go to the Panthers at 7.5.
Go ahead, Ziggy.
Quarterback is blossomed? Is that what you said?
Well, I said blossomed a little bit.
I think you could say.
I think this is Bryce Young's best.
He's
certainly
year,
a little bit is referring to his height. That's about how much he's.
Wow, Ziggy! Oh my gosh!
Look,
come on,
this guy threw for 3,000 yards, 23 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and a few winning efforts. And everybody is excited about him. Bryce Young is exactly who we thought he was. He's still not very good at football. He still turns over the ball at about the highest rate in the NFL. There are very few quarterbacks that are less efficient and less productive than Bryce Young when you look at it in the number of games he plays. So I don't believe in the offense. Jalen Phillips has not ever done very much on defense because he's constantly either hurt or... I don't know.
I might have
what
to deny that. I don't think he's
take.
been hurt in the NFL besides him popping his Achilles at the end of last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah, but this doesn't actually help him. So he's missed 1 full season because of the Achilles injury, and otherwise, last year was probably his most productive season in the NFL, and he got 5 sacks. I don't see it in Carolina at all. Derek Brown will be back, which is a huge deal for them on defense. I don't think a lot of people realize how important he was and how bad it was having him out. But no, the Panthers are not good. I'm sorry. Under.
Like you're thinking big time under?
I'm thinking Arch Manning under.
Wow. And this is a team, their schedule is the AFC North. Oof, this is tough. AFC North and the NFC North. They got that first place schedule, right? So they also have Philly and Seattle. I'm going to go under for Carolina.
Like
too.
they have to be an actually good team next year.
No, you're going to have to. I mean, Detroit, Minnesota.
And they lost the engine of the offense.
Detroit, Minnesota, Green Bay, Chicago. I mean, I'm going through the schedule here. It's tough. I'm going to go under for the Panthers, who had a great year last year. There's no denying that Bryce played the best football of his career. Ted McMillan had a great rookie season. They did get some nice additions, right? You do like some of the offseason additions in Phillips and Lloyd, but
it's just tough when the best football of your career is bottom 10 quarterback.
And losing the game to get you into the playoffs and squeaking in because of other tiebreakers. So I'm going to go under for Carolina too, which takes us to, I believe, go ahead.
Let's let producer Zach.
I'll let producer Zach do his job. I'll let producer Zach do his job.
All right, now we're going to a team that I don't know how to really describe them. They are just there. And that would be the Saints at 6.5.
I hate the Saints.
Well, you're going to have to keep hating them because they're winning the division. I am mega over on the Saints.
I'm over on the Saints too.
I'll say it's the Saints.
I hate it.
This is a proclamation that could age extremely poorly. I'm willing to make takes that I believe in will age extremely poorly. This could be the Titans will win the division level. These Saints will have double-digit wins next year.
Double-digit wins?
I think the Saints will have, even with the tough out-of-division schedule, I think the Saints will have double-digit wins next year.
See, I think everyone in the NFC South is going to be right around 8, and whoever gets to 9 is winning the division.
So
they'll be around 7 or 8.
I think that will be 10 or 11. But they were so hurt last year on offense. Shaw's their guy. Chris Olave will be healthy. I think Etienne taking like some of those snaps away from Kamara will be useful. I think that they're going to be able to add some nice pieces on the defense in the draft. The defense is the only thing that worries me, but I think the offense will be good enough to carry. I'll take the over.
Well, and Tyler Shuck started playing really well towards the end of last season. I remember every episode we'd come on and we'd say, I don't really know what's going on because I don't watch Saint games, but Tyler Shuck is playing good football.
He was legitimately good.
I still remember watching him come into Notre Dame when he was at Louisville, and they gave us a real football game for like 3.5 quarters, and he just kept making play after play. I said, who the hell is this guy? And he's older, right? I mean, he's been around for a long time, but I guess that's helping him out at the pro level. So I'm going to take the over for the Saints as well, 6.5. I think that number should be at 7.5 with the Panthers and the Falcons the way they closed the year. So one team left.
All right, the last team. They got the gunslinger himself on this team with Baker Mayfield. This is my team, and we're going to go with the Bucs at 8.5.
Bucs at 8.5. Well, I just want to confirm last year. They
finished 2-7.
They ended 2-7 last year. Mike Evans is now off the team. Said, I don't want to come back. Right? Like, amazingly.
Well, he wanted a big, what they say is he wanted a different challenge, which is, I don't want to come back.
And he went to the 49ers, which pretty much, when one of the best players in the history of your franchise says, I'm going to leave. He was offered, I believe, more money to go to Tampa Bay.
This is what the Buccaneers are reporting, though. Who knows about the guarantees and the structure and whatever.
I'm under the impression that Mike Evans, one of the best players in the history of the Bucs, was offered more money to go back to Tampa and retire a Buccaneer. Said, I don't think this team is good enough to win. I'm going to go to San Francisco and try and win with Brock Purdy and those guys. I'm going under 8.5. Going under. And I really enjoy watching Baker Mayfield. Emeka Buka got off to a great start last season, then plummeted. He fell off the face of the earth. I'm going under for Tampa Bay. This feels like another ship in the wrong direction.
I actually totally agree with you, Paul.
Wow. How often does that happen?
I think this could be a season from hell for the Buccaneers. I think that
season from hell candidate.
Seriously. And some season from hell, part of that is about expectations, but I think Bucs fans are expecting Like you can say, yeah, we lost Jamel Dean and Mike Evans, but we got Anzalone from the Lions. We've like added some decent players. I get what they're up to. They had Muhammad from the Lions too. I guess they actually just went out and got the 2 stars from the Lions defense last year outside of Hutchinson. But I'm not in on the Buccaneers at all. Baker Mayfield really struggled last year. And you can remember, like maybe this is just bias, but I was not convinced by the Buccaneers at any point last year. I was beating the drum that they weren't what they looked like. And then they finished 2-7. They're much closer to that 2-7 than the number 1 team in people's power rankings. So yeah, I'm totally out on the Bucs. The Saints are going to dominate this division.
Wow. So you have the Falcons, Panthers, and Bucs, it all seems like, as possible year from hell teams.
This is the only way that you can genuinely predict the Saints getting to double-digit wins, right? Is they have to go
I guess so.
5-1 in the division at least.
Okay. Wow. All right. Tough year to be an NFC South fan. And I hope the Saints don't win. I really hope they don't. All right, Zach, NFC West?
To the West. All right. We're going to a team that just seems to have superstars everywhere, but they can't seem to stay healthy. But they did upgrade a little bit, and they got Mike Evans. We're going to the 49ers at 9.5.
I will let you start with this one.
Well, Zach, I know you love Mike Evans.
I do love Mike Evans.
And Mike Evans is how old now? 33, 32. He's going to be 33 come this football season.
And has had 1 season under 1,000 yards, and that was because he was hurt for 90% of it.
I mean, when he's on the field, still, like Mike Evans, when he returned last year in the Lions game, right? And got hurt again.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yes.
Even in that game, right? As soon as he stepped on the field, number 1 receiver there. It's the question's health. That's what it all comes down to with San Francisco. Can Mike Evans stay healthy? Can Christian McCaffrey stay healthy? If Trent Williams is there, which I think he will be, but we'll see. Can he stay healthy? Every year we do the same. And you could go over to defense. Bosa, Warner. Like, you just don't know with these guys if they're going to be on the field. I'm going to operate under the assumption that they can stay healthy for a year, which is probably a dangerous one to take. And if they do, I'll go over.
Yeah, I mean, you already know what I'm going to say. When you've got one of the 5 or so best quarterbacks in the NFL, the NFC West is very difficult to predict because you've got the 49ers here, and I'm not going to spoil anything else, but no one will be surprised to learn there's 2 other teams in this division with double-digit win totals.
Yeah.
Like, it is extremely competitive, and you can't have 3 teams win double-digit games in a division, or I guess you can, but it's extremely difficult. I'm very high on the 49ers. It's their division to lose, I think, going into next year. I'm taking them easily.
Yeah, I like San Fran.
All right. Wonderful. Moving on to the next team that should really change themselves to the Dodos because they will be flying nowhere this season. The Cardinals.
With how many?
Oh, God. Sorry, they were so flightless. I forgot to say something. 4.5 wins. I thought the flightless part.
That is tough. Yeah, I was good. I like the flightless there. 4.5 is a tough win total. And their starting quarterback right now is Jacoby Brissett. Their weapons are James Conner, who we like. We're a James Conner podcast.
We are a James Conner podcast.
Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, Kendrick Bourne, Trey McBride. I mean, it's not, McBride's awesome, one of the best in the league. It's not horrendous, but it's certainly not inspiring, I'd say. Man, it's just hard not to think you can get to 5. I'll go under. I'll go 4.
I mean, don't forget they have to play the AFC West too.
Well, the other thing we have to talk about here is their defense is still horrible. I mean, last year was one of the worst defenses they've ever had. I think it wasn't the worst defense they've had in the history of the Cardinals, and that's still bad. Yeah, I'm going to go under. That's so sad. I'll be under for the Cardinals. How about you, Ziggy?
The AFC West and the NFC East are not divisions that you want to draw. 4.5, it's tough to pick under because that means you only have 4, 3, 2, or 1, or I guess 0. Like, this is not... You have to be predicting they're going to be one of the worst teams in football. But I think they have 2 players who are average or better starters at their position. I mean, they'll make that 3 players who are average or better starters at their position on the entire roster. Mm-hmm. It will take years to build this team into a competitor. So, yeah, I simply If they had Kyler, I would be going over. But I can't do it. I have to take under 4.5.
I know. That's an over where if you bet it, you're just gonna try. You hope like maybe you steal one or two early, and you're like they have to win.
The Cardinals are probably not going to draft a quarterback in the first round, which means it will be an open competition between Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew for that QB job.
Yeah, and you want that, by the way, if you're a Cardinals fan. I think that you want to be by far and away the worst team in football, so you could go and get your QB of choice next year in the loaded
Unless
class.
there's a QB that ownership and the GM and the coach love, like sure, whatever.
But I have a hard time seeing that happening.
But I will say this, Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr. is a heck of a wide receiver duo for the quarterback that's going to come in next.
Yeah, I mean, you're hoping that Harrison.
Michael Wilson has quietly had 2 extremely good seasons.
No, he has, but you're hoping Harrison can get to what you were hoping he would be. But if he reaches his potential or even close to it, yeah, then it's not that bad because you also got one of the best tight ends in football. So it's
but
the defense is just the defense is just really bad. All right, who's next, Zach?
Next on our list is an aging team, aging quarterback, aging receivers, except for their one star.
Everyone's aging.
Thank you, Ziggy. I appreciate that. The old heads, as I like to call this team, the Rams at 11.5.
All right, Ziggy, go ahead.
Just for the record, if you're enjoying this video, please feel to like, comment, subscribe, help us get to that 30,000. If you're looking for things to comment whether or not you like producer Zach's humor, whether or not you think he's knocking it out of the park. I think it's been great, but I want to know what you all think.
I think producer Zach's done great. What I would have done, Ziggy, I would have done that shout out before the NFC North segment.
Well, we can do it again.
All right, fair enough. That's
the great thing about
it's
cutting.
To remind people.
That is. Okay, go ahead, Ziggy. The Rams, 11.5.
No, I know that. This team's, it's difficult to know what to make of them. If they traded for AJ Brown, I'd pencil them in at that over right now. I'm worried about the wide receiver depth outside of Puka Nacua, especially with Devontae Adams getting older. You're always gambling on Matthew Stafford's health. That's just a feature of this team. He was incredibly healthy last year, and I think people have forgotten that he was considering medical retirement because of his neck and back issues, which you never want to hear. Like last offseason, we heard that he was like going in pods to try and rejuvenate his neck.
Seems like it works.
This is not what you want to hear. But even setting that aside, this is quietly one of the best defenses in football. They're stacked top to bottom at basically every position. The offensive line has been pretty good for them. And I think they're going to get AJ Brown. So I will take the over for the Rams here.
They had such a great year this year. When you have players like Stafford, borderline legendary player, right? Can we say a borderline legendary player?
Yeah.
I don't put him in that same class as obviously the guys, the Bradys and the Mannings, but
he's not a legend, but he's almost.
Yeah, he's close-ish. But when you have these just unbelievable players, you could say, I like to give them the benefit of the doubt always that they have that one last magical year. And I'm wondering if that was just last year for Matthew Stafford with 4,700 yards, 46 touchdowns, only 8 picks, wins MVP. I'm going to go slightly under. I think they're going to win 11 games. 11.5 is the number. I think they're going to be very good, very dangerous when they get in. But I don't think what they win last year. Was it 13 or 14 games?
12.
12, really? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go 11 for the Rams and say slightly under.
I did really like them taking 2 cornerbacks from Kansas City, though, and McDuffie and Watson.
Oh, they're all in.
Like,
yeah.
They made exactly the moves I wanted them to make this offseason.
No, they made a bunch of great moves. I still think, their division is really hard. You have the 2 free wins in Arizona, but there's some competitive games there, right? You got 4 good games with the 49ers and the Seahawks. And then, man, you look through it. Yeah, I'm going to go with 11. One more team. One more to go.
Here we go. The last team that we have on this, the dagger team that went through Paul's heart this year. The Super Bowl champions this year, Seahawks at 11.5.
Ziggy, you want to take the first crack at this before I won't melt down, I promise.
I'm not going to melt down. And I promise this isn't biased, but I'm going under for the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks had an incredible year last year where basically everything that could have gone right for them went right. Darnold played at a top level for basically the whole year. The defense was lights out. All the players they wanted to step forward stepped forward in a big way. But they've lost a couple contributors in free agency. Nothing too bad, but things that make you raise your eyes. Defense, just by the nature of it, is probably not going to be as incredible next year. It's very hard to field an elite defense every single year. And the offense, which I think is very good, I think is going to take a step back. In almost any other division, if they were in the South, or honestly even the East or the North, I would take the over and have them winning the division. But with the 49ers getting better for next year, by which I mean healthier, and the Rams, I think, continuing to be a threat, it's unfortunate that you have to play a first place schedule and the toughest division in football, at least for 4-year games.
Yeah.
So this is a reluctant under, but it's just because you have to take under on somebody.
Yeah, I'm also going to go under. They'll be really competitive. To me, Seattle, they absolutely deserve to win the Super Bowl. Let's just get that out.
Yeah, when I say magical, I don't mean lucky. I don't mean that they didn't deserve it. They had a tough road to get there, and they deserve the win.
I do think they got quite fortunate to win that Rams game, the Thursday night game, which gave them the 1 seed. If they lose that game, I don't think they win the Super Bowl. But they had the punt return and the ridiculous 2-point conversion. But once they got the 1 seed, they took control of their destiny. So you got to give them credit for that. They were a great team. I'm also going to go under too. The defense is going to be probably a little bit worse, right? Some offseason detractions like in Rick Woolen, Kobe Bryant's gone, Maffei's gone. I mean, a handful of guys are gone from that defense. And you'll try and add up in the draft. And Kenneth Walker is a great player when he's healthy and he's on the field.
I'm not worried about that loss.
I'm not worried about that loss, but again, just another good player. And we talked about this. It's hard when you win, right? It's hard to keep those guys intact. So I'm gonna go slightly under. I think they come in about 10 wins, and the NFC West is gonna be super competitive again. And don't be surprised if the Super Bowl champions from the NFC West again. One division left.
We are on to the North.
And if you're enjoying this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe as we head into the black and blue division. Maybe you could argue the most competitive division in football next year.
I think the most up in the air division in football for sure.
All right. With our first team, we have a team that could be either incredible or they could be absolutely dog. And that would be the Bears at a good 9.5.
I don't think they'll be dog.
The Bears, they're not going to be dog water.
Go ahead, Ziggy. Take the Bears first.
I am going to take under here. Despite me saying that, I think they will be good. I think they will be competitive. I think that the offense is going to take a step forward. And I've been a fan of what the Bears have done this offseason up until this point. But the Chicago Bears haven't really, I don't think there were a lot of options, but they haven't done much to fix the actual needs of this roster, which is that they don't have enough defensive talent. Now, they've added Devin Bush. They added Kobe Bryant as a safety, but they overperformed so much on defense last year, especially in close games where they desperately needed takeaways. The offense overperformed in really close situations. You can call it clutch if you want, but that doesn't tend to carry over year. Last year was a great year for Chicago. It was magical, and I think the foundation will continue to build, but I don't see double-digit wins. I'm going under.
I don't like that take. I don't like that take. I saw the magical season, right? The foundation was there, but that's what I think it is. It's a great foundation that they're going to build upon. How many wins did the Bears end with last season?
11, right? They were 11-6.
11-6. I don't know if I want to say higher than 11. That's a pretty big number. But no, I do think Caleb Williams is going to get better this offseason. I like Kobe Bryant coming in, right? We talked about him, one of the better safeties in football right now. Somehow Garrett Bradbury has turned into an elite center, so it seems. And
you get 2 free wins when you play the AFC East?
I was going to say, who do the NFC North teams play this year? the NFC South, who we just had 3 season from hell teams candidates, and the AFC East, which I'm sorry, Zach, but the Jets and the Dolphins should also be 2 free wins. Things go right. So you're looking at all right there, 5 wins. Can the Bears, with the rest of their schedule, if you give them 5 wins from those games?
Do you really want to pencil in 5 free wins for the Chicago Bears?
Yeah, I think I would. I think that they should win 3 of the 4 games against the NFC South, and they should beat the Dolphins and the Jets. So out of those 6 games, right, you're 5-1 in those 6 games right there. You got 12 games left, or 11 games left there.
Well, I agree with you. If they go 5-1 in those games, they'll hit 10.
Yeah, and I think they will. So if you go 5-1 in those games, can you go 5-6 the rest of your schedule? Yeah, I do. I think they can do that. So I like the Bears. I think they're going to have a really good year. I thought a lot of the moves they made, the DJ Moore trade, thought worked out well for them, getting the 2nd round pick. Obviously, the Dahlman retirement's not great. You're hoping Bradbury can keep his play elevated. But I think they're in a really good spot and one of the more exciting teams you could be rooting for right now in the NFL.
I never thought I would see the day that Paul stakes his prediction on Garrett Bradbury playing well. I thought you'd learned your lesson.
Even if Bradbury is just mediocre, Bradbury could be bad. We've seen that before. But I think Caleb in year 2 with Ben Johnson has a chance to be really special. Will he get there? I'm not sure. But even if he doesn't, 10 wins should still be in play. So I'm going to go over for Chicago.
All right. Moving on to our next team. This team, since signing Dan Campbell as their head coach, has found their courage. Do you like that one? You like that one? I know.
No, there you go. A little Wizard of Oz.
A little Wizard of Oz, right. And since finding their courage, have become alpha in this division.
Okay.
And this is where we talk about the Lions at 10.5.
10.5 for Detroit. I'm going to go under. And I know a lot of Lions fans won't be happy to hear that, but I'm really concerned about Detroit up front. It just feels like that offensive line is not anything close to what it used to be. And obviously, Frank Ragnow was a beast. They got excited last year when it looked like for a second he was going to be coming back. If the identity of the Lions has been stripped, and until I see that back, and I didn't see it last year. I mean, in fact, when the Vikings played Detroit, we had negative, right? That was the game where Brosmer had -3 passing yards and the Vikings still won. I just have a hard time getting behind what's their line right now. Larry Borum, Mahogany, Cade Mays was a decent signing. Ratledge, you got to prove it to me up there before I get back on board with the Lions being a serious NFC superpower. So I'm going to go under 10.5.
I think the offensive line will be better next year. Graham Glasgow, as Andy Herman predicted, was just terrible, and I think Mays is an improvement there. But even with a bad offensive line last year, Jared Goff and the offense were not the problem. The problem was the defense, right? Jared Goff was extremely productive.
There were some games where the offense was the problem.
Generally, if you look at the course of the season, the defense was the problem because it was more hurt than it was in 2025. Mm-hmm. Right? Everybody recognizes the Lions had a problem in 2024, of the injuries. Well, 2025 was worse, right? I don't know. Losing Muhammad on the defensive line certainly hurts. I get that. The secondary, I think, will be better next year. I'm confident with the safeties back and then being a little bit healthier. The offense is going to continue to click, and the defense, just by progression to the mean, will be improved. I'm taking over. I think the Lions are going to win this division this year, and we're going to remember why the Lions were seen as high as they were going into last year.
Here's the problem right here. I actually do think that the Lions are not a 10.5 win caliber team on an average schedule. I just ran through the NFC North, which we did just say, right?
The same arguments are going to apply.
I know. And I just saw the 4th place schedule. Son of a bitch.
Like the Lions, if you go by previous opponent winning percentage going into next year, the Bears have the hardest schedule in the entire NFL, and the Lions have the 6th easiest.
I'm going to have to take it back, aren't I? I'm sorry, Tom Monroe. Our buddy Jack, big We have a couple big Lions fans, John as well.
Like you get to play because you finished in 4th place, right? You get to play Tennessee, the New York Giants, and the Cardinals.
Yeah. I guess that if I'm looking at the schedule. Let's say they go 3-3 in the NFC North. Saints, Bucks, Pats. You probably win 2 of those 3. Now you're at 5 wins. Jets 6, Titans 7, Giants 8, Falcons 9, Panthers 10. Dolphins 11, Cardinals 12. So
it's right there. If they were what they were last year, they win double-digit.
They should, but that's frustrating to me. Now I'm frustrated that we have such an easy debate. I guess I'll have to be happy for the Vikings when we get to it, but it's frustrating looking at the Lions schedule, feeling like they're a team that's going in the wrong direction. But yeah, I mean, based on that, I guess I would have to change my pick to the over. Maybe the NFC North might just all be overs here if we're looking at how bad the schedule is. So, who we got next?
All right, the next team has had nothing but blue skies, happiness. What this podcast has been made off of. Packers at 10.5.
Well, I think they're the best team in the division, so I'll go over as well. But are we going to be sitting here with is this going to be one of those years where the NFC North? I was just going to say who's going to be the bad team. So I guess I'll go over for Green Bay. They're another team like the Lions with the injuries on defense, right? Green Bay had so many injuries to key players. Getting them back almost feels like you're having an influx of free agents, right? You could view Tucker Kraft almost like you're getting a new guy. Micah Parsons, you're getting him back as well. I'm going to go over 10.5 for Green Bay. And I feel most confident about that one.
I'm not beating the closet Packers fans allegation of this one because I'm going under.
Wow.
The Packers, I think they are a good team. There's no doubt about it. There's a lot of talent on this team. Getting Micah Parsons back, not week 1, but whenever they get him back will be important. Sky Moore was a nice addition for special teams. I get all of that. The problem is just the Packers are doing the same thing that they've done basically every year, right? Brian Gutekunst is drafting guys hoping to develop them. Matt LaFleur is begging for guys who are ready to play now, who can contribute to winning now. And the Packers just aren't getting them, right? The offensive line is a mess. You need to predict a lot of guys stepping up in big ways. You need Aaron Banks to be healthy and ready to go. You need Jordan Morgan to be ready to go. You need Belton to play way better than he did last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like this Packers roster, they've got a lot of good players, but they have a lot of positions that really need addressing too. So as much as I like Jordan Love and Christian Watson and hope that Matthew Golden will step forward if I'm a Packers fan, between the offensive line and the need for so many players to step up on defense, because seriously, right? You've got some nice safeties, but you've got no one on the defensive line you're confident in besides Wyatt and Parsons, who are both coming off bad injuries. You've got Edgerrin Cooper has been up and down. He hasn't been able to find a spot in this defense. You've got a new defensive coordinator coming in that's going to shake everything up. I can't do it. I have to go under here. I think there's too many questions for the Packers.
This might be similar to the NFC South in that the Packers, Lions, and Bears right now, to me, are all going to be around that 11 win total. And maybe it's just whoever gets to 12 is going to be the NFC North champion. Because I'm going through it. I'm just running through the schedules. All right, it's not as easy as a 12 as Detroit. That last place schedule is valuable. I mean, we're talking about the Rams and the Cowboys. The Rams were the NFC West team, right? That the Packers have, as opposed to the Cardinals for Detroit. I mean, that's just that. That's probably a loss for Green Bay at SoFi and a win for Detroit. And that's going to matter at the end of the year. Am I actually going to wind up picking the Lions to win the division just based on schedule? It's kind of nuts. But I'll go over Packers still. And that leaves us with one final team.
One final team. Here we are, folks. This team, if one quarterback plays, they could go 12 and 5?
Yeah, 12-5.
12-5. If another quarterback plays, they could go 5-12. That would be the Minnesota Vikings.
Since we're talking schedules, I just have to say we got completely screwed by that third place schedule.
Oh, it's horrible.
Because the three teams
It's just horrible.
Are the Washington Commanders, who will be healthy and finally back. A lot of people are predicting, including me. The Indianapolis Colts, who will have Daniel Jones back and improved defense. Everyone's going to be healthy there. And the 49ers, because why not? Right? The NFC West, you get their third place team, and it just happens to be, when healthy, one of the most talented teams in football.
Yeah, the team we kind of just predicted to win the NFC West.
Now, I'll say, if you're looking at the history of the Vikings 49ers over the past couple of years, I don't mind drawing San Francisco again.
On the road, it usually doesn't go well for us, though.
No, it's... boy, when's the last time we won in San Francisco?
I don't know if I've seen it in my lifetime. Or if I remember it.
Minnesota Vikings won one game in 2007 on the road in San Francisco.
2007. I don't remember. That was Peterson's rookie year.
Yeah.
Peterson's
Adrian
rookie
Peterson
year.
had 14 carries for 3 yards in that game.
And we won.
It was a
Patrick Willis. That was his rookie year too, right? 2007.
Yeah, it was a weird blowout win. It was a horrible 49ers team.
Who was our
right, Trent Dilfer and Sean Hill were the quarterbacks. It was a mess.
Jeez.
That is
Peterson's rookie year was fun though.
Yeah, look, but
8.5.
The Vikings, we got screwed by the schedule. I like Kyler Murray a lot as a player coming in. I think he elevates the floor for this team a good bit and potentially raises the ceiling if he can come in and play like he's been able to before. 8.5 is tough though, because I just think about, it's easy to go back and say, well, the Vikings got better and they won what, 8 games last year? We won 9 games last year. We would have beaten 8.5. But you think about how we got there, and I didn't see anything to inspire any confidence down that stretch. I don't think the defense is going to be single-handedly winning us as many games as they did last year. I have to take the under here.
I love this over. I love it, Ziggy. Tell me this home schedule here. Let's say Bears, Packers, Lions. Let's just say 3-3. I know maybe that's generous, but we were 4-2 last year. Let's just say 3-3.
We were 4-2 last year when the Packers rested all their starters for a game.
Sure.
And we won a game against the Lions with -3 passing yards.
Well, I mean, that's more on Detroit than it is on us. But yeah, 3. Let's say 3-3. Okay, 3-3. Our home schedule: Falcons, Panthers, Dolphins, Colts, Commanders, Bills.
5 of those teams are more talented than us, at least.
Really?
Yes.
Miami's not more talented than us.
Nope.
You think Atlanta's more talented?
Yeah.
I think we could beat them at home. I mean, we just started talking about the Falcons being a season of hell team.
I think the Minnesota Vikings are my number 1 contender for a
season from hell. Really?
Well, the Minnesota Vikings season from hell is winning 7 games because that's what we do.
Yeah, I guess I'm just more bullish on Kyler Murray than most people are, and him being able to be decent and a decent quarterback with what we have, being able to get you closer to 9+ wins. I think with that schedule right there at home, you could be looking at another 4 or 5 wins, and then you just got to pick off 2 or 3 of Saints, Jets, Patriots, Bucks, 49ers, and you should be able to get the Jets one. So can you get one more win there between the 49ers, Bucks, Saints, and Patriots on the road?
Look, if that's how we're scripting things up, absolutely. But
now, yeah, you have to be great at home. I mean, I'm predicting them to go 8-1, 8-1 at home in that scenario, in all likelihood. So it's, I just think the Vikings are going to be competitive. I think they'll get to 9-8.
I don't see a team that was 4-4 at home last year going 8-1. I'm sorry.
4-4, but Ziggy, I mean, the most important position of all sports was the worst you've seen it in the Central.
Our defense is not going to be as good next year as they were last year.
Defense doesn't have to be as good when your quarterback's not the second worst quarterback of the century. You know what I mean? So I maybe I'm off here if I have over for all the NFC North teams, but
that seems hard to believe.
I don't think it's crazy to have the Vikings at 9 wins and the Bears, Lions, and Packers all around 11. Like I think that's kind of understandable, especially given.
You
the
know what?
schedules.
If we sign DeAndre Hopkins, maybe then I'm going.
But that's you see, this is where it's unrealistic because the NFC North's not going to clean sweep the NFC South.
No, it's your. I mean, we basically did that a couple of years ago, right? When the NFC North was like 35-3 in out of division games or something.
Yeah. It's just
it just doesn't. That's not going to happen again.
But that's where I'm at from looking at it right now. The Lions were the team that I wanted to go under on, but I actually might feel the most confident that they're the over right now, given the schedule that they have. So I guess it's going to be a weird year in the North. Very competitive again, though. Like we were saying, probably the most competitive division in football this season.
Down as I am about the Vikings and putting that negativity out there, this is basically the only division where every single team, I think, has at least a 10% chance of winning.
Yeah. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you're enjoying the content, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Maybe we'll see what the rest of the schedule is this week. If not, Ziggy, have a very happy birthday on Thursday. Good luck with your dissertation. Producer Zach, awesome job. Got to get you on the mic more. Really enjoyed the win totals right there. We'll see you guys later this week.